Hi and welcome back to my shed. One of the guys on the Pearl Drummers forum asked about some of these drums, so I thought I'd oblige since I do really like them myself. So this is the first of the badged Craviotto drums which I think I ever bought, probably back in about 2005 or so. It's a Pau Blackheart abalone drum, which abalone is a mollusk if you're not overly familiar with them, and I think you can find them off the coast of LA and maybe some other sort of warm places as well. But as I said, it is a mollusk. It comes from the inside of the shell. And just to briefly go over the rest of the drum, it's a maple shell. It's 14 by 5. It's got maple reinforcement hoops. Came with pure sound wires on it. As you could possibly see there, you've got quite a wide snare bed. Starts about here, goes around to about there. It's not the deepest snare bed, but you can definitely tell it's there. And it's sort of rounded off to, well, to about there also. Johnny Craviotto's bearing edges are, as far as I'm concerned, the best around. I'll do a better video later on of the drum, but hopefully you can see at least there. These are razor sharp edges as far as wood edge is concerned. They're absolutely fantastic. The shell is, it's not the most remarkable piece of wood, but it's still a nice piece of maple. And the reinforcement hoops are, again, quite, it's a pretty piece of wood in itself. Matches the shell beautifully. So a lot of care has gone into the making of the shell, as would be the case with all of Johnny's drums. The drum itself is from 2004. I picked it up in, I think in about 2005 or so, from Wembley Drum Centre in London. I bought it, I think, with my Drum Workshop titanium drum, which is actually in the pile of drums here that you can't see. It's also got a trick strainer on it, which is about the best that's around at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. It's dead smooth, and I don't think you can get any better as far as I'm concerned. You've got the butt plate, which is fairly unremarkable, but it has got the diamond thing going on there, same as all the other Craviotto drums. And again, you've got the diamond there on the tube lug. It's a 10 lug drum, 14 by 5. Now, the finish was actually done by a guy called Bill Cardwell, who is the guy behind CNC drums. He told me, I came across him actually at a drum festival, drum show in London in about 2006 or so, and I asked him about these particular drums, and he told me that they'd made somewhere between 50 and 100. He didn't give me an exact figure, I'm not even sure he knew, but he said somewhere between 50 and 100. So there were actually 4 different finishes available as well of the abalone drums. So this would be one of the 4. There was also a sort of white marine pearl sort of finish, and there was I think it was orange burst over white awabi, and there was another one which I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. I've got it in the back of a catalogue somewhere, which is probably stuck in that pile there. But the finish is actually applied as a thin strip, which you won't be able to see on this camera, but I'll do it with a better resolution camera a bit later. But you can actually see that it's been applied as a thin strip to the shell. So it's a very labour intensive process, I think, to actually finish these shells, because you're dealing with a very thin material to begin with, and it has to be glued on strip by strip. So it wasn't a cheap drum. I think it was about £1,000 at the time, although I didn't quite pay that for it, because because I bought the other drum as well, I got a little bit of a discount. But it's I said it was one of the first Craviotto drums that I bought, and it certainly was the first badge one. Inside the shell, Johnny Craviotto has signed it. He signed it there, which you may or may not be able to see, but and there's a little CNC drum badge there as well, saying it's genuine abalone, and Bill Cardwell's actually signed it. It's got Remo heads on it. They're Craviotto logo, but they're Remo heads. I buy a separate ambassador and put it on the top of each drum that I've got, but at the time I didn't, so I've been playing this one rather stupidly, because it means I've got to go and buy another logo head now at some point. But I've got this at a fairly tight tension, the top head, and to be honest, I've never been motivated to actually change that. It's got a lovely crisp sound to it, this drum. It's got plenty of body, and generally people, when I take it out of the case, people will notice. They'll notice it obviously because it's a stunning looking drum, but they'll also notice when I start playing it because it just sounds so good. If you ever wonder about whether a Craviotto drum is worth the money, yes it is. They are about the best wooden shell drums that you can get, as far as I'm concerned. They're certainly the best solid shell drums that you can get, as far as I'm concerned. I must have about 35 single ply drums here. They're not all Craviottos. There's 26 Craviottos, and then there's some Slingler ones behind me, which are from the 60s, and there's some other bits and pieces, some Noble and Coolies and things like that. So these are the best, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I've got so many of them. But anyway, it's a fantastic drum. I'll probably say that a lot on these videos, but it is a fantastic drum. It is one of my favourites. I don't play it so often, for no other reason than I don't need to, but it's a lovely sounding drum. I get a great deal of entertainment and joy out of playing it because it just looks so good and it sounds so good, and it motivates me to play a little bit better. It's quite loud, it's very cutting, it's got a great tone to it. So what I'll do now is I will do a quick video of round the drum so you can get a better look at it, and I'll do another sound file, and see you later.